Good morning. Welcome to Althea. My name is Bob Burkaw, and I am, I'm the board president. I forget. And I'm also the MC for today, and I'm really excited because we are welcoming new members officially into our community. So it's a very exciting day, I think, for Althea and all of us. And our Sergeant at Arms, who is very strict, almost militaristic about cell phones going off during the celebration. So if you don't want to incur any negative repercussions from SARMA, I would invite you to turn your cell phone off or put it on silent, or as Rick often says, put it on stun, because some people kind of enjoy being stunned every once in a while. So, whatever works for you and your cell phone. And also just to ask if there's any people who are new here, who are here for the first time, if you feel comfortable and you could stand up and give a 30-minute talk and explanation about who you are and why you're here. If you don't want to do that, you can just wave your hand and we can give you a flower. Is anyone here for the first time today?
Up here. Up there.
Oh, up in the gallery up there. Very good. So we will give you a flower afterwards, but we would invite you also to join us for lunch. And if you're a first timer here, then the lunch is on us. So we hope you'll stay afterwards and get to know us around some food, which is always a good way to get to know people. So welcome, thank you. And just curious, is anybody here for the second time? Welcome, thank you. Is anyone here for the 100th time? Good. Welcome to, we're glad you're here for the 100th time. Maybe we'll have little 100th time pens to give us. So we recently have been starting off our Sundays with acknowledging the horns that blow outside as they go by. He's just saying hello to Althea, and he's very sorry he couldn't be here with us today. But we'd like to acknowledge the land, and we also have another acknowledgement that we're starting off also. So I would like to read those acknowledgements right now. Acknowledging the land that Althea occupies, this very earth that is beneath this 100-year-old building. It's important. This is the land of the indigenous Cheyenne, Arapaho, and Ute peoples, and it's important for us to name it. Their legacy does matter because this was their sacred ground, their sacred ground. And it is made more holy for Althea because of this. To ensure that this land acknowledgement is more than just a statement, Althea looks for opportunities to be impactful partners and allies for indigenous communities and organizations. Our building often also includes offices for 2 organizations that impact these communities right here in Denver. Spirit of the Sun, and Sisters of Color United in Education. Their work through activism, programming, and education is making a difference in our community, so we'd like to acknowledge that. We also want to acknowledge that though we are growing in diversity at Althea, we have a long way to go. We have been a place where most people are white, and nowadays skew to an older demographic. So I guess I'm skewed. I didn't know until I read this that I was actually skewed. But we do have a very strong LGBTQ membership, but there's so much more that we can do to become even more welcoming. Institutional racism is real. Implicit and unconscious biases are real, as is the lived experiences of our neighbors of color, people with diverse abilities, and other groups that don't have the same privileges in this culture. We ask for everyone's help and feedback to get us to a place of belonging for everyone.
Good morning. Join me for a few moments of reflection and prayerful attention to the beautiful radiant center. I invite you to close your eyes if you like, if you're comfortable. And attune to your breath as a beautiful tool for calming and centering. An appreciation for how beautifully and wonderfully they're made, with all the tools we need to reconnect with our own divine radiant center. I invite you to allow your attention to drift down, down, down into the center of your heart space. And imagine that radiant center there. And rest in appreciation for just a moment for how beautifully and wonderfully you are made. We come together as a community of oneness, of inclusion, and of expansion. Especially grateful today for the beautiful souls that have chosen to bring their light here to Althea, to help ground it in that beautiful wonderful light and grow with us. We appreciate all of their unique gifts and the diversity that they bring, and the expansion that it signifies as Althea expands its light and reach out into the world. We acknowledge the connection of every person here and all those that join us through the wonder of the internet. And with that acknowledgement, let's remember that we have the ability to walk in the creation that was made directly from the hand of the Creator. And that when we do that, we can become even more aware of the diversity and the beauty and the uniqueness of every living thing. And we stand in appreciation and oneness, and so it is.
Good morning. Please stand as you're able and join me in our statement of being of the right face of God. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. We are individualized expressions of God, and are every one of this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. We are a family. You are the face of God.
never says to the earth, you owe me. One regret, dear world, that I am determined not to have when I'm lying on my deathbed is that I did not kiss you enough. Look what happens with a love like that. It melts the whole sky. This place where you are right now, God circled on the map for you. Don't surrender your loneliness so quickly. Let it cut more deep. Let it ferment and season you as few human or even divine ingredients can. Something missing in my heart tonight has made my eyes so soft, my voice so tender, my need of God absolutely clear.
So good morning again. I'm looking at the outline of today, and it says that Bob Burkhoff, who is me, will give a brief message. That was it. We are really excited today, as I said in my welcome, to have new members join Althea officially. It is partly because Althea is a corporation and we have bylaws. And the bylaws said that we have official members. But that's not the real reason we do it. We do it to allow people to state their willingness to openly accept Althea and to be a part of it and to officially join this organization. So that they have their name on a little card that says they joined the organization. It's just a really wonderful thing, I think, to do, and to have all of us here to welcome these new people into the Althea community as official members of Althea. So they are all going to come up on stage one at a time, and what we're doing by means of a welcome and an introduction, each new member will come up and they will state their name. They will also give a quick explanation in one sentence of how they found this community, how they found Althea. And then they will state their mother's mother name. In other words, their maternal grandmother's name and where she was born, if they know that. And a little bit later, Jenny will talk about where this came from and why we're doing it today. So, Jenny, if you want to come up. And if you all would come up one more. Okay, we can do it. We're going to, yes. Okay, here we go. We're going to change the whole. My name is Bob Burkhoff. I found Althea quite a few years before my husband and I moved to Denver because of our friend Kathy Mitchell, who said, I think I found a place that you guys would really enjoy. And we came, and after our first Sunday here, we said, well, when we moved to Denver, which we had planned to do much sooner than it happened because of that thing called COVID coming away, we said we will join in with Althea, and that's how we came to know this incredible place. And my mother's name was Blanche Mallory Binns, and she was born in LaGrange, Georgia.
So if you want to Google someone really amazing, Google the Reverend Dr. Vincent Harding. He was an activist with Martin Luther King. And what's really cool is he spent the last few years of his life, he passed away in 2014, right here in Denver at the Ivy School of Theology. But he is known the world over for the work that he did. He's famous for many things, but one of the things he's famous for is a way that he encourages folks to introduce each other to each other. And he felt that if you have to name who your mother's mother was, that it gets us a little closer to who you were, and if you happen to know where she was born, you can mention that too. So my name, first of all, to introduce myself, is Virginia Elizabeth Castleberry, but I go by Jenny. First, how I found Althea. Here's our cheat sheet, y'all, just so you know, those of you who are next. I found Althea because I moved 1 block away from it with my family, my husband and my daughter, about 7 years ago now. And my husband drove by and said, I think that place is open, and it says something about yoga on the marquee. You should go check it out. And so we did, and so 7 years later, I am still here. My mother's mother was Dorothy Elaine Means Murray, and she was born in Saguache, Colorado.
My name is Phil Wade, and I've heard about Althea for years from Tim Wilson, but it took a friend of mine, named Kurt Maple, who's a common friend to Darrell also, to call me last year and say, on Pride weekend, we are singing Season of Love from Ryan. I said, I'm there. The service, the music was excellent, and the service was very inspiring, so I'm still here. My mother's name was Cecilia Wolfe. She was born in Arcadia in Nova Scotia, Canada. She was an Irish, French-speaking Canadian and immigrated to Massachusetts when she was 8 years old, not speaking any English, just knowing French. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Laura Smith. I first found Althea since I moved over about a block away over to Warren Residence. I'm glad to actually be here. Okay, my mother's mother is Lorraine Barber. That's her maiden name before she became Smith. Kind of nervous, so thank you.
My name is Candy Fitch. I found out about you through Vic, my kid's and my mother's mother name is Johnny Slaughter, born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Philip Flippy Bright, and I found Althea 8 years ago when in this room over here there was a deep dive. A deep dive was a guided meditation. And I started going to that in yoga and really fell in love with the place, so it's been wonderful ever since. My mother's name was Jewel Laurie, and she was born in Bardstown, Tennessee, and I'm done.
My name is Jude Gasaway. My grandmother's maiden name, the first daughter in her family, was Josephine Mary Adelaide Hillard Bell. And then she married a man named Loomis. And how I I found Althea was through Tim Wilson's Tuesday or Wednesday night meetings that were down in the basement. And then I also found online Catherine's weekly sharing group. It's a Zoom meeting. Thank you.
You will see some other names up on the board, and they were not able to be here today, but we will welcome them anyway. And so let's just give a round of applause for all. So the most important part of every service is, of course, the sermon. And today we're handing it over to you. We're going to pass the mic around, and we would like you to do the same thing that the people up here did, the new members. State your name and one or two sentences about how you found Althea and your mama's name and where she was born. And so Sarma has the microphone. And you're welcome to pass, but it would be fun to share. And if you would, if you would stand up and kind of face people so we can hook a face to the statement.
My name's Alice Green, and my grandmother's name is Maria Michaela Kazvara, and she was the first in her family to be born in the United States, transplants from Italy. And so how I found Althea was really kind of a blind circuit. So I went to Mile High Church when I first moved here 7 years ago, moved to Denver, and I met a man named Dan that Jenny remembers. He's since passed, but he invited me to Toastmasters, where I met Jenny, who's become one of my BFFs. And so she invited me here, and the rest is history. So, okay.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie Kurtz, and my mother's name was Catherine Dawson. She was born in Kansas City, and my name is actually Catherine Dawson Kurtz, and I'm the fourth Catherine. If I was a boy, I'd be Catherine Fourth. I found Althea because I used to work downtown for nearly 40 years, and I would drive home up 14th and pass this beautiful, beautiful space every day, and I would read the marquee, and it had there were wonderful speakers who were listed, and I came to a few of those, and eventually I found my way in here, and I've been coming ever since.
Hi, my name is Barbara Boucher, and my grandmother's name was Mary Green, and she was born in Saginaw, Michigan. The way I came to Althea was I was having breakfast with a friend who said, you know, I would like to go to this place. I heard it's kind of a neat place. Would you like to go? And immediately out of my mouth was, no. So anyway, I sat there and I thought, well, you know, it's not going to kill me to go. And I remember, I thought when I came in here, I thought, you know, I've been waiting all my life to hear this message. So that's why I'm here. Am I supposed to say anything else?
Hi, my name is Jeff Parker, and my mother's name was Elizabeth Andreasen, and she was born in Denmark. And I came to Althea via Bob and Diane Beale. And this is Linda Parker, and her mother's name is, I don't know her first name, last name is Odom, and she was from the Midwest. And Linda's mother attended this church way back in the early 30s, 40s. And so that's the history of that. And
Hi, I'm Diane Beal, and I can't even remember when I first started coming here because it just feels like it's always been home. It seems like I've been here forever, and it's really got a big place in my heart. I just love everything about Althea. My grandmother's name was Anna Culligan Luther, who was born in the beautiful metropolis of Old Ridge, Nebraska. That's my family. Thank you.
My name's Jeff Fountain, and I found out about this double lady. And she said, I'm going to Althea. You want to come? And I said, I'll go where you go. My mother's name was Peggy Hanks, and is there something else I'm supposed to do?
That's where she pushed.
Gosh, I'm embarrassed to say I don't know where she was born. But anyway, we're all from Maryland, and then I migrated.
My name is Linda, and I found out about Althea through retreat participants. I was teaching a retreat in the mountains, and Chris and Luis were interviews were participants. And we were saying goodbye, we were really sad, and they're like, this doesn't have to end. We know this beautiful place in Denver where spiritual journey continues, so here I am. And my grandmother's name was Božena Slavikova. We called her Babka Božka. And we are from Slovakia, Bratislava.
I'm Serena Running Horse. My grandmother's name was Eldora Jones. She was born in Boise, Idaho. And I found this place, Barbara Test came to see us in Denver and was talking about it. And that's how I found Althea. I've been coming ever since.
Hello, my name is Salam my mother's name is Dahab Nagisha, and she was born in Eritrea, Horn of Africa. And I discovered Althea through my sister. She came from BC, and she was staying with me. She's like, I want to go to Althea. I'm like, okay, I'll drop you off. So I dropped her off, and then the second time she's like, you need to come to this place. So I came, and Jonathan was the spiritual director at that time. He was so welcoming, and so I've been coming ever since.
Hi, everybody. My name is Julie, and my grandmother's name was Bernice Johnson. I believe she was born in Illinois, but honestly, I'm not 100% sure about that, so I'm going to go check that out. I came to Althea because an individual that I was doing some trauma work with recommended that this might be a welcoming, safe place. And so that's just what drew me here, and I found it to be very welcoming and open, and I like that. I like not having to be stuck with any particular dogma, so thank you very much.
My name is Mark Shaw, and my mother's mother, the first name is Sophia, and I've seen her last name, but I can't remember it. So she was born in a small town in Germany, and the family was Catholic. The town was near Wittenberg, where Martin Luther nailed the 95 Theses and started the Reformation. Interesting, when they came to America in Philadelphia, they became Lutherans, which is kind of interesting. About 6 years ago, my therapist recommended that I come to Althea. I did not come. But I met another man at an incredible class at Cambridge University. And we were having lunch, and I said, I'm thinking about going to Althea. He says, yeah, I remember. So I started coming. That was 5 years ago, so here.
My name is Tim Wilson. I think when I first came here at least 12 years ago, a friend, a Catholic friend, recommended Althea for the Easter service. So I came a couple years with him for Easter. And then I discovered, I lived close by, I thought I should check it out other than Easter, and discovered the Black Actors Guild and their weekly improv, and that's really what kept me coming back when they were based here. I'm still close with all of those young men and women. My mother's maiden name was Gertrude Bondurant, French ancestry. Married a man named Goff, G-A-W-F, but I have to do a little research. I don't know where she was born, and I know my other grandmother was born here in Buena Vista, Colorado, but I'll do some research before the next time.
My name is Neil Stock, and my grandmother's name was Mary Fossbinder, and she was born in Nebraska. We started coming to Althea by the recommendation of some friends, and that's when Jonathan was just here, and you have to go and check it out, so we did, and we've been coming ever since.
Okay, I'm gonna have to, I'll make a little exception here. I do not know what my mother's first name was, so I'm gonna give you the name of my father's mother, whose name was Mary Fisher Bish. And she was born in Stockholm and lived her whole life in Stockholm, Sweden. Oh yes, my name is Kirsten Thompson, and my goodness, I started coming here like in the 90s, maybe early 90s even. Colin and Jane were here. I was completely taken by this place, and the reason for me coming here is that I drove by every day from work, right here on 14th Avenue, and I saw whatever was, signs telling us about what was going on, and it sounded really interesting. And after about maybe 6 months of that, I decided I've got to go and check this thing out. And coming from a very kind of very non-religious family, and being a little bit curious and a little bit hesitant, I walked in here, and I loved it from the very, very beginning. I became good friends with Carl and Jane. My children actually loved them both, and one of my daughters designed this thing, whatever that is called. That is it. What do you call it?
Like a lectern?
The lectern. She designed it. My eldest daughter. She's an architect actually, but yeah. But I find it wonderful to think that my eldest daughter's work is here. I can see it every time. Have I forgotten something?
My name is Catherine McKay, and my grandmother's name was Florence Fuller, born in Kansas. She really liked to be called Babe. She was the youngest of 5 kids, and that's where it came from. And she was a big religious scientist and heard Ernest Holmes speak many times, and so Religious Science magazines and Ernest Holmes' book, everything was lying all over her house, and I actually, as a kid, learning to read, would pick those little magazines up read stuff about it. So probably has something to do with who I am. Anyway, I found this place because my daughter had a friend named Olive. You remember Olive? She took care of the kids on Sundays, and Olive was the coolest girl ever. And for her birthday, she invited all of her friends to come here. And Clarity, my daughter, couldn't go. And I said, well, if Olive goes there, it must be cool. I'm going. And that's how I found it. And the very first day I came, Jane Cobb was speaking, because it was still Divine Science, and her subject was God. Just God. And I thought, well, yeah, that's why I'm here. So I'm coming ever since.
My name is Rick Hitzman, and I've been coming here since about 2016. And I also remember driving by on 14th Street when I was a little kid in like the late 50s and seeing this very interesting building, and it's just rather coincidental, ironic, or no accident that I'm here, 60 years later. My grandmother's mother's name was Christine Zoller Falsgraf. Good Irish name. No. And she was born in Odessa, Russia.
And my name is Jerry Hodge, and I came here for the first time, thanks to Kathy Mitchell. Pre-COVID, it was 4 or 5 years ago. The first day I was here, I met Barbara Test, so that should explain why I'm still here, because Barbara was just a force of nature. My mother's mother was Minnie Peterson. She was born to a Swedish immigrant family in Elbert, Colorado.
My name is Jazz, and I owe my life to my grandmother, great-grandmother, because she taught my mother how to be a good Catholic woman, to have 12 children, and I'm the 10th of that. So, thank you, great-grandmother Catherine, born in the hills of Kentucky. I was developing a relationship paradigm program in my other spiritual community, and their politics became intolerable to me, and I started to seek out another community that was also aligned with my passion to expand consciousness. And when I sat in the first new members meeting, it might have even been Jenny who I quizzed, and I said, so what would you say is the main mission of this community? Well, probably to expand consciousness in the world. I said, where do I sign up?
Mother's because I'm adopted, and my birth mother's Minnie Poole, born in Worcestershire, England, and my mom's mom is Rosalie Goldstein, born in New Jersey. And then my adopted parents are visiting there from New York right now. So, and was introduced here coincidentally by the previous Ingrid Gardner introduced me to this place, and it took me a while to actually get going here, but I feel I love you all, and this is my home. I love how accepting this place is. It really means a lot to me. Y'all have the kindest, sweetest hearts, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you. Because I wanted to find a church that wasn't exactly religious, and this was the first one that popped up, so that's
Hi, I'm Ainsley Harlow, and my mother's mother was Anne Kaniki, born in Germany, and I think the town was Holsteiner or Holstein, I'm not sure. I had a horse that was a Holsteiner. And so I'm a little bit confused. But she immigrated and came over on a big ship, and yeah, she was a very strong, formidable woman. And her mother was Hedwig Kaniki, and her but Hedwig, and my mom was Hedwig, so. And I founded Althea. I was invited by Beverly, who I met in the Roses and Cheeseman. And as I had some plants I needed to transplant or wanted to find a home for, and so I put them in your garden. And yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Barbara Arden. I just moved here. My daughter lives here, and I missed her. And she knew I've been doing spiritual studies for my whole life. So she said, oh, I have just the place. So I moved right down the block. My grandmother's name was Beatrice O'Sullivan. And I wanted to become a new member and even went to a meeting last week, but I didn't want to get up and talk in front of everybody.
My name is Judith Whitten, and I've been coming here for a long time. My mother's mother was Ethel Carol Squires, and she was born in Piedmont, North Carolina. And my daughter's friend's mother said, try this out in the early 90s, and I did, and I've been here ever since. Thanks.
Before I run upstairs with this mic, get ready.
Are we ready for the other? Jenny's up there.
Jenny's up there. Okay, good. So I'm Sama, and I found Althea through Diane Beal. And talking about my grandmother is just bringing up a lot of tears. So her name was Lucia Johnson, and she was born in Riga, Latvia. And I found out, oh yeah, I said that right. Okay, Jenny, take it away.
Wait. That's all right, I'll go. I'm Jack. I'm Aaron Castellut, and what brought me to Althea was actually a job that was listed in next door. And I came in, well, after I saw the job, I went to the website, and I was like, oh, this is an organization I want to get involved with. And so I was very committed when I came in for the interview that I was going to get the job. And the interview was with the board, and I just loved all the people. I knew this was the place for me immediately. And I've been here ever since. It's been almost 6 years now. And my mother's maiden name, my mother's mother's name was Frida Braun, and I don't know where she was born.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. I'm Fern Hertzberg. I'm Anna's mom. I'm visiting from New York. I've been here actually before when no one was here. We ordered plants and been through the building, and I met her once here at the end of the service. But this is the first time I've come to the service. It's great. It really reminds me of the synagogue I belong to, which is left of left in the Bronx, in City Island in the Bronx. My maternal grandmother was Florence Katz. She passed when my mother was only 13 years old, and so I'm named for her.
My mother's name was Jewel Hay, and she was the first woman principal in Austin, Texas. Yeah, I loved her very much and I miss her. So I've been coming here since Jenny and Carl, and maybe you know how long it's been here, decades. But I'm really
My name is Rick Stanton, and I first learned about Althea Center when I started working here upstairs at St. Francis Center. I'm a caseworker up there. And we moved over here to Althea Center and started renting the space upstairs, and I attended a service and fell in love with the place, so I've been here ever since. My mother's mama's name is Jeanette, and she's from Denver. She's a great woman.
I'm Carol Johnson. My great-grandmother, actually my paternal and maternal great-grandparents were both Johnsons. So my great-grandmother's name is Emma Johnson. She was born in Lindsborg, Kansas. And I've been coming here since Tim Wilson actually got me involved at Althea and their host program. And I believe that was in August of 2017. I met Jenny soon after, I think, the first class I came to here. And this just seemed like the right place for me to be, so thank you.
So I think we got everybody. So thank you for the sermon. It was very enlightening. And I think it's really interesting to introduce ourselves that way instead of telling people what our hobbies are. It just puts a different slant on it. So thank you very much for being willing to do that, and also for helping us to get to know each other better. Thank you. So we now have a very short ceremony which everyone may participate in, and it's welcoming the new members with a vow and a pledge. And if you are a member of Althea, I would invite you to stand. And also, if you're here as a witness to the new members, I would invite you to stand also. And if you have that little sheet that was handed out, and the new members get to start this off. 1, 2, 7 with the intention of becoming a concert violinist. This remained her sole focus for 15 years until she discovered fiddling, and her musical world was turned upside down. Since then, her focus has been with her music shifted from being an isolated, striving for technical perfection to a focus on connecting other people and cultures through music as a way to build community and to express a common humanity. Opening this door with an exploration of Irish, old-time and bluegrass music, her folk music journey has moved her into her current livelihood of teaching, performing, recording, and collaborating with other musicians from a diverse range of musical genres. So, thank you, Sandra. And if you would like to tell us your mother's name and where she was from and how you first came to Althea.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for that introduction, and it's good that I chose folk music today next with that introduction. But so I first came to Althea. Oh, Jane Cobb was still the minister, and Deborah Schmidt-Lovis, who was a pianist here for a long time, brought myself and a didgeridoo player, and they loved it, and so they started to have Deb and I come, I think, once a month, and that continued. And so I've been here for a long time, and it's so delightful to be here, and I concur with so many things that people shared about the heart and the inclusivity of this community. It's remarkable and wonderful. I'm thrilled to be here. And my mother's name was Ethel Lesky. She went by Ginger because she had red hair. And she was born in New York City, I think in the Bronx, but one of the boroughs. And I'll play a fiddle medley for you that, for me, is just a little bit of a journey from some of the more tender, sadder emotions into a joyful place, because we're always shifting. And hear that little speaking, that's because they think of themselves as the universal breeders, and they're very upset that they can't be with all of you at the moment. So after, if you want to come say hi to my pups, they would love that.
Sorry, everyone. Nobody Brooks was the founder of Divine Science in Denver, and when people would ask her what the meaning of Divine Science was, or what's the gist of it, she was a formidable woman, if you ever seen a picture of her. She just said the whole of Divine Science is practicing the presence of God. Inside, outside, everywhere you go. And I came here in the 90s also and was seeking something that I couldn't find in the outside world, and I didn't really know what it was. I just knew it was beyond the ego-driven world, I guess. And when I walked in the door here for the first time, I felt the energy, and I've heard so many people say that, from new people, old people, young people, anybody. It's palpable, and I think that's because for 100 years now, there have been spiritual seekers welcomed and accepted in this place. And I took every class that there was, and I still do. And one of the things that Jane Kopp, who was one of the ministers, she and her husband Carl and I started coming here, said was there is no community that is as strong as a spiritual community. And I thought she was right, but she was right. And that you will find your deepest friendships in that community. And she was right again. The other thing she said that was terrifying was that once you start down this path, you can't go back. I thought, yeah, once again, no. Anyway, I am forever grateful to her for the practice of meditation and affirmative prayer, which we practice here on the path forever, and to this wonderful community and space. I read this thing from transformational teacher Judith Rich when Jonathan was here, and I just loved it, so I thought I would share it with y'all. I'm reading out my glasses off, so I can't read it. Anyway, her name is Judith Rich, and this is what she said. I stood still, paralyzed by the beauty and the magic of this moment. Everything stopped, even my breath. Like a sloth, I didn't want to move. There was nowhere else I needed or wanted to be. Standing there, absorbing the beauty of this place. I stepped out of time. In this timeless moment, I saw and felt the unity of all things. There it was, all around me, the chaos of the natural world, silently woven into a tapestry of exquisite, perfect order. I felt at one with the trees, rocks, plants, birds, insects, squirrels, leaves, and water. A witness to this sacred scene, I felt humbled and blessed to be here in this moment. So this is what the Storm Lane was about, I realized. Sipping and savoring tiny moments, stopping the clock and slipping out of time, feeling my own heart begin to synchronize with the rhythms of nature, and being in the presence of the sacred. Now I'm not learning for a single visit. I can see possibilities here. And then the moment ended and time began again. Reluctantly, I headed back to, quote, civilization. I could hear the ever-present music of a freeway in the distance. Back to business as usual, the world full of cars, trucks, and the people inside them, barreling towards their destinies at speeds too fast to notice life. We're lucky to have this sacred space in which we can step out and then step back in. Thank you.
So now it's time to share our gifts. We can also think of it as priming the pump of circulation, making things move and flow in our lives. As we give out love, we receive love. As we give of our time, we receive time. As we give of our money and talents. We receive money and talents, so we want to participate in all of this flow. There's many ways to give. We're going to be passing the basket, which is the traditional way, but we can also donate online. You can set up a monthly donation, which is very easy, and we have Rick Kissman's favorite device right back there in the corner, the dip jar. And if you're old enough to remember dippity-doo, you can just dippity-doo in that jar with your credit card, and it will gladly accept every dip as a donation. So thank you in advance for your gifts and your sharing of your time and your talents. And so if you would join with me in repeating our affirmation, which is up on the screen. The universe provides all that I need and all that I give. With great joy, I share my prosperity, planting seeds for a world I am helping manifest. And so it is. Thank you. And another thing that we've begun, which has now become a tradition. We do prayers of the people. And we have a very powerful group of Ministry of Prayer people involved with Althea, and Rick takes notes, sends them out to them, and they will pray with us on our behalf for this entire week. So if anyone has anything that they would like to share, it could be an expression of joy, it could be an expression of concern for yourself, or someone else, or for the world in general, for our community. We have microphones, and you can stand up or sit and speak those words out and know that they will be held in hearts and in affirmative prayer all during the week. Anyone have anything on their mind? Katie?
I'd like to have continued prayers for our friend Sarah Mattingly, a longtime member here who usually comes with our other friend Judy Fott. And Sarah injured herself about 3 weeks ago. She injured her back, fairly severely. She will be fine, but she's, suffering now. And if you know her at all, you know that she used to walk a lot every day. And this is kind of into that a little bit. So just prayers for her continued healing on all levels.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judith, there's something.
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Comfort to my daughters Claire and Jill for the passing of their mother Charlotte.
Thank you, Jeff. Anyone else like to?
I have a celebration. So, and I'm really not doing this to advertise, but my sincere wish is that the book I just published, it's my first ever book, but I really wanted to get out and into the light and help people light up. So I really appreciate you helping me hold that vision, that it gets out and it really touches people and helps them connect to that light.
Thank you.
Could somebody write this down? I would like to prayer for the new members.
Deep breath.
It's such a ceremony, and I really want to acknowledge that. It is, I think, for anyone who joins this community, it's like, wow, this is a home, another home. And so to acknowledge all these new people, and this is how we grow. This is how we grow. And so blessings to all of you movies.
Thank you. So just a reminder that you can place a prayer request on our website, and you can find that through the newsletter. If you're not getting it, let us know, and we will see that you get connected with our newsletter. And we, as I said, Rick sends these out to our prayer partners. We also have a prayer partner available right after the service, right over there. And if you would like to sit with someone and express a joy or a concern, something you'd like more of in your life, something you would like to let go of or like less of in your life, they would be glad to hear what you say and to pray with you in support of your moving forward with whatever it is that you desire. So you're welcome to make use of that right after the service. We are not having a deep dive today, but we are having lunch, and we would also like to invite the new members especially to have lunch on us, on the board today. So you can enjoy lunch, and I hope a lot of you will join. That's really a place of community and communion, and we get to know each other really well sitting at the table and eating. I think everybody likes to eat and chat, and that's what we do right after service. Hamana. Jenny, oops.
Those are my glasses.
They
Yeah.
live there?
Yeah, but they're from a Walmart, Walgreens or something, so you can take them. All right, so I've been saying for a while now, we have so many things going on at Althea, and we still do, so lots happening. But first of all, one of the themes, a thread that I heard through what so many people said today about how they found us, has to do with Tim Wilson. I want him to stand up. That's Tim right there. Program, how many years ago? 5 years ago, called Mariposa, which is the Spanish word for butterfly, that's around transformation. He founded it, made it happen, and incorporated it, I think. It's got a 501c3, and he has been the director. It's for our LGBTQ plus community, panels, special events, all sorts of things. And you heard how many people said, I found this place because of Mariposa. Tim is ready to step down from that role, and so we are looking for another director of the Mariposa program. So if you or someone you know would love to be in charge of setting up amazing events, cool happenings, that's what we need, is that person. So Tim is the guy to talk to. Did you want to add something?
Yeah, we're not really a separate 501c3, we're a program of the Althea Center. And
yes, absolutely part of us. Yes.
And we've identified like 5 different areas where someone could do a little here and someone else could do here. So we're also looking at a team concept with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people.
Great, okay, so it's not all on one person's shoulders. Yep. So if you'd like to know more of that, or again, you know someone who might be interested, please talk with Tim. This Saturday at 9 a.m. right here at Althea, August 27th, Poria Montazari is going to tell you all about the Sufi Enneagram. For those of you who are intrigued by the Enneagram, which is not just a personality method, it's many things. Apparently its origins are Sufi. And so that is what Poria is all about. He's one of our favorite folks. So that is going to be this Saturday. He is also teaching an 8-week-long on Tuesday nights, beginning September 27th, deep dive into the Sufi Persian poet Rumi. Those of you who hear Rumi all the time, it's going to be an amazing, one-of-a-kind experience. So find out about that on our website. We also still are signing folks up for special teams. We had a margarita party here last week that went really well. Got about 20 plus people here, and lots of folks signed up. These are special teams, because we don't like the word committee, because no one likes that word. But you can be part of a special team, which is way more fun, around things like helping to research and select our next spiritual director, helping to have cool events like the Music Fest that's coming up in a couple of months, and our centennial celebration that celebrates the 100 years of this building. We make sure that our special teams use your creativity and your ideas and are fun. So we will have those sign-ups in the back, or talk to any of us on the board or on the staff. If you would like a personal, private prayer, Please meet right after. You helped me with that alliteration, didn't you? A personal private prayer, please. Join us in the historic library right after this, but we will also, as he mentioned, have a lovely lunch, so join us after. And what also goes on today is Matthew Quickly, who happens to be our chef for today as well, will teach yoga at 2 o'clock today. I believe it is. It's every Sunday that he's here with us, a yoga class there. And our new member, Jude, had a beautiful dog named Bandit. If folks remember seeing Bandit, their service dog Bandit. Bandit passed away, went on to the great beyond after 12 years of service, and now I'm gonna cry. So, the good news, and how perfect is that? We got our boys and girls there. She sparked that we need to do a blessing of the animals, which we've done before. Woo-hoo! And a special Sunday where we memorialize our furry friends and our feathered friends and all those folks. So, soon to come, you're going to see a special Sunday around that. So let's get ready. So thank you, Jude, for letting me talk about that. Let me see if there's anything else. There's always great information as part of your program. Go to our website. That's where you can donate more money if you didn't bring cash today like I didn't. And you can see what all is going on. So Thursdays, it was also mentioned today, Thursdays on Zoom, Kathy Humphreys takes people through a wonderful, amazing discussion that is different every time. Erin Pescalou, where are you? You have started 8-person only, in-person discussion group where folks bring their favorite spiritual book and you talk about it and share it. What else am I missing? Oh my gosh, we're only trying to raise $100,000 before the end of the year. We're going to do it $100 donation at a time. That's kind of our special goal. Trust me, we'll take other amounts, but we have a plan around that. You're going to hear more and more about that fundraising. Gong Bath next week after services on August 28th. Come to a gong bath if you've never been bathed by a gong, you've never lived. And then I'll tell you real quickly about our amazing speakers. Alice Brink is speaking next Sunday about sacred spaces from all over the world and this very sacred space. She's going to tell us all about that. We have Robert Brzezinski, who's going to tell us about being free. And we have, oh my gosh, who else? Stephen Burge is coming back. We have just all sorts of cool things. Anything that I missed in particular? I always ask Rick Kitzman because he just knows these things. Anything?
The outreach, looking for a driver.
Oh, tell me again. We have a member who needs a ride to a doctor's appointment. When is that?
Within the next month.
Within the next month. If you're somebody, do we know what part of town that person lives in? No, not yet. But if you're okay, we'll find that out and we'll get that information out there. Part of being in this community is helping folks with that. So I think that is everything, and I will turn it back over to Bob.
So we have a closing, both closing prayer and a closing song that Hero is going to lead us in. So instead of doing the traditional closing prayer, I would like to ask us all to stand up if you choose and if you're able. And this will just be a real quick call and response. Life is good.
Life is good.
I see love everywhere.
I see love everywhere.
In all the eyes I look into.
All the eyes I look into.
And especially looking in the mirror.
Especially looking in the mirror.
I know this moves around me every second. It holds me as the precious being that I am.
It holds me as the precious being that I am.
It's all good.
It's all good.
And so it is.
So it is.
You can stay up for the closing song.
Good morning. I'd like to do an old standard. It's a Gershwin tune called Our Love Is Here to Stay. It's very clear our love is here to stay. and the movies that we know may just be passing fancies, and in time they go. Oh, my dear, excuse me, my love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But our love is here to stay. It's very clear. Our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But our love is here. It's very clear. Our love is here to stay. That is really good.
What's it say here? You haven't made your appointment yet with the acupuncturist. You make that appointment first.